Hello and welcome to the Bot Box. Ansgar, I have to warn you there's a significant percentage of time, probably less than I thought when I wrote this, is going to be used to describe Ansgar's different forms. First of all, for those who are wondering about the name, it literally translates into English as God Spear and is the Old High German version of Oscar. Now you know. Anyway, the original Ansgar was made for a series of German robot wars that never happened. So instead, Ansgar entered the first series of Robot Wars Extreme as a round, circular, golden blue robot with a full body wedge essentially. So it's that. Kind of a bit like a UFO really. And armed with a flipper that could be interchanged with a lance and a lever. The spear actually put in an appearance without needing to be interchanged, so it was basically a multi-weapon bot. Ansgar's first battle was in German melee, where it faced Wooden Spinner Nasty Warrior, Cutter Spearbot Flensburger Power, and Spikebot Golem. Ansgar went for Flensburger Power early on and repeatedly fired the flipper weapon, but it had no effect on Flensburger Power whatsoever, as Ansgar did not have Flensburger Power sitting nicely on its weapon to flip. So Ansgar backed off and Golem drove over one part of Ansgar. Ansgar ended up out of focus until it prodded it. Nasty Warrior still didn't attack successfully. Golem was counted out and pitted as time ran out and the judges recorded. Ansgar won because it did something, or at least it tried to do something, and got into the second World Championships where it faced English Flipper Chaos 2, American Vertical Spinner Manta, and Italian Flipper Mastiff. Oh dear. Manta went for Ansgar early on, but both were out of focus as the focus was on Chaos 2 and Mastiff's duel, which ended abruptly when Chaos 2 pitted itself whilst trying to pit Mastiff. Manta then pitted Mastiff before returning to Ansgar, which had some decidedly chewed up armour courtesy of Manta's spinning disc. Manta then sent Ansgar to a flame pit where it died and got counted out. Ansgar returned for the series of German robot wars that really did happen as Ansgar Revenge, a silver-coloured box armed with a 360-degree lifter. It was also a shuffle bot. Ansgar's Revenge was in the very first episode of German Robot Wars, so Heat A, where it faced Golem, of course, and Flipper Drillbot Junkyard Queen. Ansgar's Revenge was the last bot to enter the fray, going for Junkyard Queen before randomly driving into the arena's spinner and taking ages to move afterwards. Indeed, it only moved once after leaving the arena spinner button. But all three bots looked unhealthy. Golem had a loose wheel, for one thing, and Cease got called. And the jury got called in. Ansgar's Revenge was the one to go out. Ansgar's Revenge returned for the UK vs Germany special in Series 6 of Robot Wars, where it faced Das Gepäck, which was actually Dutch. Das Gepäck sent Ansgar's Revenge straight to dead metal early on and kept ramming Ansgar's Revenge even when Sekillot showed up. Das Gepäck backed off when Sekillot picked up Ansgar's Revenge and carried it around. In fact, Daskipek decided the sensible thing to do, well, Daskipek's team anyway, they decided the sensible thing to do was have Daskipek open the pit. Secure did put Ansgar's revenge back on the arena dance floor, but Daskipek rammed Ansgar's revenge into a wall, then rammed the wall, then rammed Ansgar's revenge into Secure, who carried Ansgar's revenge close to the pit, and Ansgar's revenge actually got moving out the way when Daskipek tried to shove Ansgar's revenge into the pit as time ran out and the judges were called in. They ruled in favour of Daskipek. Now Ansgar returned for the third World Championships as Ansgar 3. Still a silver coloured box, still a shufflebot. Somehow managed to get away with being over the weight limit for shufflebots, and was now armed with a horizontal bar spinner. Of course, Ansgar 3 had to go through qualifying for the third World Championships, and faced fellow German bots iBot 1 Beta, a horizontal spinner, a dual horizontal spinner, and Lifter Reaper NP2. Reaper NP2 went for Ansgar 3 early on, but Ansgar 3 managed to get a good hit on Reaper 2 and took it out of the fight altogether. So Ansgar 3 went for iBot 1 Beta before opening the pit, hitting Reaper NP2 again for good measure and taking out iBot 1 Beta. Its weaponry was still working, but the robot was not. The same cannot be said for Ansgar 3, whose weapon went down, but the robot was still moving. And that meant Ansgar 3 could do something like, send iBot 1 Beta into the pit. Reaper NP2 also went into the pit. So iBot 1 Beta was not in there alone. So that got Ansgar 3 through to the World Championships, where it drew two British bots, Rama Tornado, the Series 6 champion, and Rama Lifter Storm 2, the Series 7 runner-up. Gott im Himmel, God in heaven. Ansgar 3 team, what did you do to upset the draw gods? That is one nightmare draw there. Each of them on their own is bad, but together? Dear God. Ansgar 3 got pushed by Tornado early on, but escaped and opened the pit. Storm 2 then pushed Ansgar 3 into a corner and Growler rocked up. Ansgar 3 escaped, but Storm 2 and Tornado teamed up and sent Ansgar 3 to a flame pit. Ansgar 3 is freed, but it was pretty much completely cooked. It was in very poor health, it was leaking ominous smoke. And Tornado and Storm 2 joined forces to hit Ansgar 3. For those who are curious, Storm 2 ended up winning the fight. And that was the end for Ansgar, in all its forms. At least on TV anyway. I'm not sure about after the TV series. Didn't check. Ansgar 3 was the best of the three Ansgar robots and showed a lot of promise. With better weapon reliability and a kind of draw in the World Championships, Ansgar 3 could have done well there. How far it would have gone, I don't know. It couldn't self-right, which would have been a major problem for it. I'd have actually liked to seen it in the main series. You'll notice that outside the German series, Ansgar was not in the regular series of Robot Wars. And, Ansgar 3 was a pretty good bot and could have done some damage. I'm not saying it could have been a potential champion, but it could have done pretty well considering it was a shufflebot. And shufflebots and walkers do not have the greatest record in regular Robot Wars. They came a long way from the original Ansgar. I don't think Ansgar, the original bot, would have done well in the main series. Ansgar 2 probably wouldn't have done much better, but I don't think it ever seemed to work. Ansgar 3, like I said, by far the best of the bunch. So, who's next? Taiki? Please be kind. We have Pulsar. Until next week, Callison244, out.